Okay, today we are going to do a wolf pup painting, and we already have it drawn out here, and we already have our background. So the first thing you're going to want to do is paint just the background, so around the wolf, and that's it. Make sure you have your paint ready and your water and some brush options. You can pick anywhere from 1 to 3, I would say, to start. For the background, do a bigger brush. So this one's a filbert and it's a 22. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these colors and we're just going to blend them together. Just have fun with it, and as quickly as you can, just fill in the background. It's okay if it covers up a little bit of this. This is just our guide anyway. And these colors, by the way, are the aquamarine here, titanium white, and the cerulean blue. So I'm just blending these and just having fun with it because I like bright colors. Make sure you do long strokes if you can. And if you notice, sometimes I'm using more than one color. So the cerulean blue in this one section and maybe over here. And the reason why I do that is just to mix it up a bit. So again, it's okay if you cover up some of the fur. It's just our guide. Just try not to cover up the whole piece. Just have fun with it. I like to sometimes, once I've done one layer, I'll go back and I will add in other colors because I like to do it wet. So I can go back over them and I'll do shorter strokes just to kind of give a texture to it. You don't have to do that. You can just do long like this. And make it super simple. Or like I said, you can do the strokes. Once you've gotten your base done, then you can go back and go a different direction if you'd like. You can go horizontal and just blend it. But you have to make sure that everything is already filled in, so no white spots should be showing in the background. I'm going to add a little white over here because I didn't do any white over here. And I'm lightly doing it so that if it starts to blend into the other area, it's okay. Now I'm going to put my paintbrush in my water and I'm going to give it a second to dry. While I'm doing that, I'm going to start getting my colors, and I'm going to use the titanium, unbleached titanium white for this wolf pup. I'm going to use the raw sienna. And I'm only starting with about a quarter or under size. This way I'm not wasting paint if I don't use it all, or if I run out of time and I don't have time to work, then I just use a little bit at a time. That one, this one is the burnt sienna, and then the burnt umber. And the last that I will use is the black. And black goes a long way, so you really don't need a lot. So this should be pretty much what your palette looks like. That way you're not overdoing it. And you can see by my nail size, it's pretty small, not huge. Now I'm going to go with a smaller brush, and I'm going to start laying down the one color here, which is the raw sienna. Then I'm going to go around the neck area here. This is the back of his head, and a little dark brown. And I'm just kind of having fun with it. I'm not making it super perfect yet. I'll go back and do detail after. And then I just kind of swoop. I'm not doing long strokes. I'm doing short ones. So take your time if you need to. If you notice, I'm just letting them blend together so that it creates a texture. I'm going to come back down in here. And this is his chest part. So we're just back and forth with certain colors. The raw sienna, the burnt umber, and then I might even go sometimes periodically with the titanium white, the unbleached, not just the regular white. And I'm just lightly, super lightly going in and making little short brush strokes around, just periodically in these little areas, just to have fun with it. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to use a little bit of the black, just a little bit, and to kind of create darker sections. I'm not doing the whole section, I'm only doing a little piece here and there, and this is going to give me texture. I'm going to do it all the way down this side, because a lot of my light is coming from this direction, okay? So everything's going to be a little bit brighter up here and a little darker back here. Okay, I'm going to clean off my brush because I don't want my black to ruin the painting. This up a little bit. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to go back with the brown and a little bit of the raw sienna. Not too much, just a little bit. Just pop here. Okay, just a little bit. Right on the tip, and I'm gonna start going back in just in the edges. I'm kind of doing like little triangles, if you notice, and I'm going down as I go, so kind of straight out at first and then down, angling down. Same thing, getting a little bit of more brown, bringing it back in. Short strokes, short fun strokes, okay? Now I'm going to go with a little bit of the burnt sienna, or raw sienna, and I'm going to mix that on my palette with the unbleached titanium white to give it a little bit lighter. I might even add a little bit of white to it. Okay, and now I'm going to go over in this section and start doing a little bit longer, real lightly, and this is going to be my brighter sections. I'm not doing bright, but this is going to give me that little fur texture. Okay, burnt sienna and the raw umber. I'm going to go back with the burnt umber again and really pull back into this lighter color. I'm going to do a little bit of brown, or burnt umber with the black, sorry. If you notice, everything I'm doing, it's wet. I'm not using the water in between, but you can if you don't feel comfortable doing it like this. Okay, now it's starting, if you notice, it's starting to get dry, so I'm going back in with the paint. Okay, if you notice, I'm just going back and forth with the colors. And now I haven't pulled in the burnt sienna yet. I've done a lot of the burnt umber and the raw sienna, but not the burnt sienna. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, just to kind of give a fun color. You don't have to. It's totally up to you, because it is a bright color. Okay, just swooping a little bit. Going back and forth with colors. Just mixing with a little bit of the black and the brown. On this side now, coming in. And their chests usually kind of have like almost like a V shape. So I'm just going back, and periodically every once in a while I'm going one direction and then the other direction. Just have fun with it. Don't rush it. Unless you're under a time crunch, and then try to go a little faster, and you can always come back if you don't like something. If you start to overmix it, it's okay. just wait for that section to dry and move on to a different area. Try to go with the direction of the fur. So if the fur is coming off on the right hand side, it's going to go off to the right, and then the left, all towards the left. Try to create swooping motions every once in a while, just to give the texture. And I have these lines here just to kind of give direction, to try to bring it into that direction. So here you go. You can use that one as a direction, and then this one. Same thing. Try to create your points those ways. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of lighter colors because I want his head to pop a little bit more than everything else. And these are the back of his ears. So I'm still making it a little lighter, but not too light. And the same thing. Come in darker areas. I'm using my cloth here to wipe off my excess paint because it's a little crunchy. And now I'm going in with the lighter, like the white and the off-white colors. I'm going over so I can create my brighter sections. More white. I really want it to pop here. And this whole section is his ear. And then I'm going to create a little bit of brown. And here's the flesh color. So I used the burnt sienna, the white, and the off-white, or also known as the titanium, and the unbleached titanium. I'm pulling that in here just periodically. And I'm doing a little bit dark brown with it as well, so that I can have some depth to his ear. And again, I'm wiping off some excess paint, so now it's a little bit better, less paint on there, and I don't have to get it wet every time. I'm going to go back with the brown. And I'm going to slowly pull in the brown and my mixed colors here. Okay. Now we're going to go with our white, real fine, quick strokes all the way around the top of the head. Just short little texturized strokes. Now I'm going to go with the off-white, or also known as the bleach. Quick. And if you notice now, I'm getting a little texture to it. by doing this. I'm just forming around his face. This is under his chin, so I'm going to use a little bit of black. Now if you notice, I still have the paint from earlier. That way it gives me a lighter color. Just have fun with it. Now up top, he's going to have a little bit more longer here above his body, just so I can show the difference between his face and his neck and how his neck comes down. If you notice, I have a lot going on here because it's starting to blur together. So now I'm going to start going back and creating that depth and detail so that I don't lose that ear. Come in a little bit because this is his ear. So I'm going to use a little bit more brown, maybe a little black. And I'm just kind of doing a little line. And you could switch brushes if this one's too hard to do. And I'm just lightly going around to darken that area up so I don't lose his cute little ear. Again, back here. And we're going to do some fur, just lightly coming down. Okay, and then right down here, his neck. We're going to periodically pull some other colors in. Shape his and pull around his face and down below on his chest. Same thing around here. Pull the off-white. Now that this area is a little bit more dry, I can go back to create my texture. Okay. Pull in colors, darker colors. Just quickly pulling them in. And now I'm going to go back with some of my lighter colors. I'm going to wipe off my brush. You know what, I'm going to put it in the water. And I'm going to pick a smaller brush this time. This is a little bit smaller. It's a filbert as well. And I'm doing both whites mixed together and going back and forth with the colors. I'm just going back and forth with each color so that way I can have a difference in the textures. Now I'm doing a little bit of brown because I'm going to go around his little face. His little muzzle. Okay, we're the off-white. Now these guys you can make black, just small little dots, because these are his little, where his little whiskers are. And by doing this, they'll stand out more. So if you let that section dry, when you go back with the lighter colors, you can fill them back in. So we'll move over here real quick, do some short little strokes just in this one area. Pull them up. I'm not touching the black yet because I want to show you what I'm talking about. Same thing here. Do a little bit here. That's it. Move back with the lighter colors again. Just periodically back and forth along with the texture of the hair. And if you have to, like I made his head too high, so if you have to, when you need to go back and cover up, because I didn't do enough paint down here, you just go back with your original color and start cutting in. This way you can repair any mistakes that you might have made. That's the great thing about acrylic paint. It's very forgiving. Just giving a little bit, not very much. I'm going to come back in, fix his little head. And now I'm going to go back. Okay, and then a bit of black for the open mouth. And you can add the brown if you'd like, or a little bit of white, because part of it actually isn't as dark as the original black. Okay, and we'll do the nose. Now his nostril is going to be the darkest black. So we'll follow that around, a little scoop and circle. And then we're going to go with just a little bit of white here. And again, I used a little bit of black and white together. I'm going to go back with the black again, create his little other nostril. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to go with a one of my pointed round ones right here. That way I can do the nose a little bit better. I'm just adding a highlight here and a highlight around his nostril there. I'm just going to round them off with the white and soften this one a little bit. And a bit more black. I'm going to come down right here. This is where the nose connects. I'm going to rinse off my brush. Go with a little bit of brown. We'll come around his mouth here. A little off-white. Mixed still with the brown. Okay. A little bit of raw sienna with off-white. Right down below here. And bring some of that same color over here into the chin. Now right here I'm going to do a touch of black. Not too much. just a little bit, and some brown. And I'm just going to periodically do it in those areas that are highlighted here with our pencil. You can follow it exact to the shape, but I like to just have fun with it. And then I'm going to grab one of my filberts. That's the rounded off edge. And I'm going to do my off-white. And now I'm going to come back in with all this together, just lightly. I'm not going to over mix it or anything, but I want those colors to blend, and if you see, they are really nicely. So I'm not overdoing it with my brush, just lightly. Back with other colors into his face, around his little face. I'm going to do a little bit of brown around his face, not too much. Okay, now we're going to go back. A lot of this is drying, which is great, because I wanted it to, I didn't want to lose that ear again. So we're going to go back. We're going to give a little bit of texture to that hair up top. I'm going to clean off my brush real quick. Right around his eyes, a little bit brighter, so we're going to give more of that white there.